Today on Dak and Ju, we are making granola. Julie is a granola queen, and I had never really made homemade granola before, but after living with her for 2 years, it's the only way to go.
There's so many different elements to it. The crunchy, like oaty part, the coconut, the toasted nuts add a really nice crunch as well, but then there's so many other goodies to pick out that make it so much more interesting than just oats.
So first we're going to zest 2 oranges into a big bowl.
If you don't happen to have oranges on hand, that's okay. You can also zest a lemon. I've done that before. It's also very tasty. All right, next we are going to add 4 cups of rolled oats and about 1.5 cups of coconut. Again, the measurements are somewhat important, but if you don't have 1.5 cups of coconut, not the end of the world. Also, it's important that you use old-fashioned thick rolled oats and not instant oats, because then you'll get a really weird texture.
Do you measure anything precisely? Is there any recipe that you're like, this is the day that I'm actually going to measure something precisely?
Today. Yeah, from baking.
That's not true.
Okay, well, if it's something in baking that's like really important.
Sure.
Like, yeah, no, actually I don't think so.
What you put in this doesn't really matter. It's more just about the ratio of wet to dry. So then we're gonna add 3/4 cup of raw pepitas. You can also use sunflower seeds.
Oh, wow. So now we're gonna add 1 cup of cashews. If you don't have cashews, you could use any other kind of nut. Almonds, pecans, walnuts, really anything you have on hand, it'll turn out just fine.
And these are raw and chopped slightly. So then we're gonna add about 1.5 cups of dried fruit. We have roughly chopped dates, dried apricots, and golden raisins.
The far superior raisin.
We're gonna wait to add the golden raisins so that they don't dry out, but for now we can just add in the apricots and dates.
Again, whatever kind of dried fruit you really like, you can use. I've used dried figs, prunes, lots of dates, and nothing else. It just is kind of whatever you feel like having to nibble on in your granola. Once you've added in your chosen dried fruit, now it's another time you can kind of customize this recipe. So we're gonna add about 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, a hearty pinch of salt, and we happen to have some chia seeds we're just gonna throw in as well.
So we've melted 1/4 cup of coconut oil, and we're gonna mix in 3/4 cup of maple syrup.
Now, if you don't have maple syrup, you also could use honey. I think the maple syrup it makes the granola get really nice and crispy when it bakes off, which I really love. The honey keeps it a little bit softer, so again, whichever flavor you prefer, whatever you have on hand is great.
And then we're just gonna add this in. Ooh, yummy.
Yum.
Give it a little stir.
Just want to make sure everything is nicely coated in the oil maple syrup mixture. Next, we're just going to put it onto a lined cookie sheet. You want to make sure that the granola is in mostly one layer, so you might have to set up 2 cookie trays, or I've even cooked it in a cast iron before. I like the chia seeds in there.
Yeah, it's like polka dots.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh.
Mmm.
Oh yeah. I give a little taste test.
All right, so our trays are ready to go into the oven. Our oven is on 300, and you're gonna cook these for about an hour. And the most important thing is that when they're cooking, every, say like 10 minutes, you're gonna wanna give them a good stir so that the whole tray is getting cooked nice and even. All right, so our granola is out of the oven. We added in the golden raisins about 10 minutes before we took out the trays. Again, that's just so that they don't get super crunchy and overcooked. They stay nice and soft and supple. Our favorite way to eat our granola is with yogurt, in a bowl with your choice of milk. maybe with cashew milk. Just as a snack by the handful.
Yeah, this is so good. I mean, I'm really hungry right now, but this is really good. Well, we're just gonna polish this off. This is hers and hers.